All right, guys, come have a seat. So this past week, I finished a book that I really enjoyed. It's based on, obviously it's fiction, on Shakespeare's life, and yet his name is never named in the book. It's interesting. So I decided to watch Hamlet yesterday on Amazon. And Shakespeare's writing was he's so spiritual, and he's very funny, but he's very spiritual. And there's something in the spirituality of it that I wanted to share with you today. In the movie and in Shakespeare's words, there's a father that gives his son some wise words. And he said, I want to make sure I didn't mangle it. He says, give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. In other words, listen more and speak less. The the Dalai Lama has a wonderful way of saying it. He says when we speak, we're only repeating what we know, but when we listen, we might learn something new. And in another tradition I study, it says that we can learn something. Who is wise? One who learns from everybody. So if we set our intention to just listen more and speak less, maybe take a breath before we speak, our words will be more valuable. I mean, words are another discussion. Set your intention to be quiet, to give every man your ear, but few your voice. Yeah? So sit up tall, draw the bottom of your shoulder blades down your back. The center of your heart lifts up. Take a big full breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth, a cleansing breath. Then close your eyes and come to your breath. Notice as you inhale and exhale. Take a big full inhale all the way up to your collarbones, expanding your lungs, your rib cage. And as you exhale, the breath just kind of drains out, flows out without being forced. Until you find the rhythm of your breath. And your commitment to your intention to be more comfortable with silence. Keep the sides of your body super long, the bottom of your shoulder blades down your back, and slowly open your eyes. You're going to take your fingertips to your shoulders and take some big circles with your elbows. Just circle your elbows. I'm going to let Roberta in. Take some big circles with your elbows. You might hear some snap, crackle, and pop in your shoulders. Good. Now we're going to make those shoulders circles a little bit bigger by taking your wrists toward each other. Now, if you have to dump your head forward, please don't do that. Just do whatever you can, and then make the circles really big. Wrists hug toward each other, moving with your breath, inhaling up, lengthening the spine, exhaling it down. But keep the breath in and out through your nose if it's possible, if you can breathe through your nose. Good. Take two more, just like that. Really big, full, effortful, and mindful. Yeah. And release. Now you're going to circle your arms all the way up, cross your right wrist in front of your left, flip your palms so that they're aiming toward each other, interlace your fingers and lift up tall. So I want you to feel the front of your heart lifting up, your spine nice and long, your thigh bones reaching toward the earth, and just reach right and left. We're going to get there, but just Notice where you are, getting lots of length. You do not believe how much we compress our spine just with gravity, with our emotional stuff, with our distraction. Good. Moving with the breath, kind of like seaweed in this consciousness, in this big consciousness, this quiet, peaceful place. Good. Now make your way back to center, stay tall, and you're going to twist only to the right. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Feel the left ribs rolling to the right. Big twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Last time to the right. And release your hands so that your left hand's outside your right knee. Get a big twist here. This should be, you're preparing your body to get a big twist. Oh yeah. You can even look to your left and tip your chin down, get a nice stretch in your neck. Oh yeah, should feel good. Stay breathing. Belly back as you circle your arms all the way up. Now you're going to take your left wrist in front of your right. Flip your palms. Notice how weird that feels. Interlace your fingers and lift. And now you're going to twist. You're going to go sideways, right and left. I got to let Judy in. Stay up tall and twist to your left. Exhale. Move the right ribs to the left and come back to center as I let in Judy. Exhale and inhale. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Now move to the left. Twist and release. Oh, you're going to get a little bit deeper twist than you would have just coming from center. Look over your right shoulder. If you choose, you can even tip your right chin down. And take a big full breath here. And all the way back to center. Now you're going to take your right hand out to the right and reach over to the right, soften your right elbow. And then you're going to come back towards center. And then you're going to come a little deeper. On the exhale, your right forearm might come a little closer to the floor. And then inhale back to center. And you can always readjust where your right hand is, either further from your body or closer. But you allow the breath, the exhale, to release you to the earth, and the inhale to lift you up. Take one more. Maybe your whole forearm will come toward the floor. Reach, reach, reach. Oh, yeah. And then all the way back to center. And I just want you to kick your hands to your lap and notice how the sides of your body feel. I know my left shoulder feels higher than my right. So you're going to take your left hand out to the left and reach your right arm all the way up and over, bending the left elbow toward the floor. Inhale. And maybe a little closer toward the floor. Moving with the breath. As if you're moving through this unconscious, quiet place, becoming a little bit more comfortable with maybe just listening. Come up. Exhale all the way over to the left. Oh yeah, all the way over. And all the way back to center. Oh, good. Now you're going to grab that strap. You might need it, you might not. You'll see. You can extend your legs nice and long in front of you. I like to roll my inner thighs toward the floor. And either take your right knee towards your chest. That's option one. Or you can grab the outer edge of your right foot. And this is where you might want your strap. Option one is with the strap. Taking your right knee back. And then as you exhale, you can extend your right leg forward and fold forward. So this is option one, right? Option two is without the strap, taking your right foot back. Exhale, lengthen, and you're going to fold into it. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale. So find your way with or without the strap, guys. It does not matter. What matters is that you're listening to your body and you know what your right action is, right? Exhale. Inhale. Oh, yeah. Exhale. Nice stretch in your low back. And of course, warming up your sweet flexors. Exhale, fold forward. And then release the strap and come all the way up. And notice how the right side of your body feels. Now, oops, sorry. The left knee, your left knee is going to feel different than the right. So let's hold on to the left shin in, or you grab the outer edge of your left foot, or you use your strap. And then you're going to fold forward. And then inhale. And then exhale. Now, continue just like that. I want you to feel that nice stretch in your low back and the heat cooking up in your flexors. Take 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Maybe with a smile. Good. And exhale. And come all the way up. Draw your knees to your chest. That was great, guys. Get rid of all the strap and make your way to table pose, hands and knees. Make your way into cat and cow. When you get there, when you're nice and set up, your belly's back. Make sure your knees are beneath your hips. And then cat and cow, big and full. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Good. Always looking to see where our spine is at. You can take some hip circles with your hips. Yeah. And like Allison was saying, you don't have to go fast or hurt ourselves to really get into where we want to get into. Good. And make your way back to center. Now with your shoulder blades hugged together, you're going to imagine there's a light on your right kneecap, and you're going to aim your right knee back behind you. So you're going to really lengthen the thigh bone. And then you're going to open your right knee out to the right and then back towards your knee so that you make a big circle with the light on your knee. Back, side, back to center. Moving with the breath. Lovingly working your right hip. Saying, I love my hip. I'm grateful for my hip, right? Keeping the knee bent because that's where the light is, right? I'm just going to take a few more here. Big hip circles. Try not to dump your head, Joanne, girl. Yeah. Good. That's my girl. You want to look forward. You don't want to dump your head, guys. Good. 2 more. Just because we can. Oh, yeah. So you just start feeling a little heat. Also for the core. Oh, yeah. And then extend your right leg directly out to the right. So your right foot's in line with your left knee. And then you're going to walk your hands back and circle your arms all the way up. Make sure you feel the connection of your right foot and your left shin grounding to the earth. And you lift up tall. Now I want you to take your left hand behind your head and the left shoulder blade down your back and the left elbow back. Okay? Then you're going to reach to the right. Oh, yeah. And inhale to center and maybe to the left. And exhale to the right. It's a real back and forth. Inhale. And exhale. Keep the left elbow back. Maybe a smile is good. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This is all your core. Your upper body. Take 1 more on each side, right and left. And all the way back to center. Circle your arms up. And you're going to tip forward and take your hands to the floor. Now I want you to walk your hands forward. Roll your inner thigh bones back. So imagine there's a rush of ocean reaching your inner thigh bones back. Your arms are wide, you're lifting your armpits, and you're softening your chest. Coming all the way to the earth. Getting a nice stretch in your back. Listen to your breath. Perfect. And then make your way back to center, and you're going to step your right foot just outside your right hand. Take your left knee back just a little bit so your left knee's behind your left hip. And you're going to tip your right thigh bone out to the right. Maybe you'll take your right hand and press your thigh bone away from you and reach the back of your head back in a big stretch in that hip. Big, big stretch. Listen to your breath. Good. We're going to start it. Good. Then make your way back to center. And then you're going to extend your right foot slightly forward so that you can flex your right ankle. Keep your right outer hip back and reach the right hip back as far as you'd like to go. And a nice stretch in the whole back side of your right leg. Then as you exhale, you're going to bend your right knee and reach your right shin forward. Yeah, big stretch. Inhale, all the way back, right outer hip back, right side of your belly back. Exhale, nice and deep stretch. Inhale, right outer hip back. Exhale. Good. Take 2 more, just like that. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Perfect. And then make your way back to center. Take your hands to the floor or to blocks if you like, because we're going to come into a lunge as you lift your left knee up. Okay? Now, you're going to keep the left inner thigh fired up. That's where the power is. And you're going to open up. So you're twisting your left rib to the right. Really lean back. Now we're going to get into our core here, guys. Listen carefully. As you exhale, you're going to tap the left thigh bone and lift the belly. Exhale. That's important. Inhale, open it up. So at the end of the inhale, I want you just to get a little quiet. And then as you exhale, but I want you to feel quiet on the exhale. And then inhale. Exhale. Let's take a few more just like that. Practicing being in that quiet space. Good. This is for your core here. Exhale. We're going to take 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Then release your hands to the floor and shorten your stance. So make sure your feet are wide as railroad tracks. Take your outer right hip back and walk your hands up your right thigh bone to come all the way up and sit upright. Yeah. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers with your heart. Keeping the right outer hip back, you're going to tip the top of the pelvis forward. You know that. Roll your inner thigh bone, the left inner thigh back. So the left inner thigh is still fired up, getting a huge stretch. Release your head. Make sure you can shake your head yes or no, because the power is in rooting your feet and lifting your belly. Big full breath. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Step into your right foot. Lift your left leg all the way up. Lift it up, lift it up. Good. Exhale, step your left foot beside your right, forward fold. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. And bring your palms together to your heart center. And then you're going to widen your stance and make your way into a goddess, into the goddesses that we are. So part of the silence is, what do we learn in the quiet space? What do we learn about ourselves? What kind of lessons is there? So we're going to go a little lower into the quiet. We're going to go deep into the silence. And once you're nice and engaged, I want you to imagine your feet are hugging in as you come up, and you're going to reach down into the earth as you lower. Your feet isometrically slide in, and you feel your core. And then you exhale, stay low. Good. Maybe 2 more. Big inhales up. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale. Hug it in. Exhale deep into the quiet. So now we're going to look deeper. You're going to take your right shoulder to your left knee and just look for the quiet. Inhale back to center. Exhale your left shoulder to the right knee. Inhale back to center. And you're going to just quietly take 2 more on each side. Exhale. And come all the way up. Good. Take your feet hip width apart. Stand tall, shoulder blades down, your back. Inhale, circle your arms up. Grab your left wrist and lift. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Grab your right wrist and lift. That means from all those intercostal muscles on the right. Exhale to the left. Use your core to come up. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank. Good. So I know, knees up or down, you know the drill with me, but your belly's back, whether your knees are up or down. Shoulder blades hug together, so there's a melting of the front of your heart. And we're just gonna roll back and forth as we do, checking in with the core. This gets right into your belly, right into the core. Everything does, but I really feel this here. I want you to hear your breath, just nothing but your inhale and your exhales. Come back to center and lower your knees. Roll your thigh bones to the floor. Scoop your heart forward, take your hands beside your ribs, shoulder blades down your back. And then make your way into a cobra. Oh yeah. And just roll right and left. With a big breath, make your way through table. Take your hips back and right into down dog. Yeah. And walk your dog. And just notice your breath. Good, hips back. Then lower your knees back to the floor. You're back in table. Now you're going to take your left knee back behind you, out to the left and back. And then you're making big circles with the left hip. They are big mama circles. Right. And you're moving with the breath. And you're really feeling the heat on the left. Good. Notice the engagement in your core. Really interesting. Big circles. Without dumping your head, your gaze is slightly forward so that your ears are in line with your shoulders. Let's do 4, 3, 2. Last 1. Oh yeah. Extend your left leg directly out to the left. Walk your hands back and circle your arms all the way up. Good. Now you're going to take your right hand behind your head. Your shoulder blades down your back, your right elbow back. And you're going to reach to the left. And inhale through center. And exhale. You're going to listen. Right. Right elbow back, moving with the breath. And if you find yourself going too fast, go a little slower. That's how we listen, right? 3, 2, last 1. Good. And circle your arms all the way up and start to dip forward from the top of your pelvis, taking your hands to the floor in front of you and wide, rolling your inner thigh bones back, lift your armpits, and soften your chest and your head, getting a huge stretch here. Big full breath. This is really good for your posture, guys. Good. Then walk your hands back. And you're going to step your left foot just outside your left hand and dip your left thigh bone out to the left. And then you're going to just kind of push your left thigh bone out to the left as you roll your right ribs to the left. So we're going to get a nice little stretch here and a bit of a twist and just see where you get. The two hips are going to be very different, right? Good, full breath here. Then make your way back to center. You're going to take your right foot just forward now and flex the left foot forward, flex your left ankle, taking the left outer hip back. So I want you to feel a nice tone and edginess all the way up into the left outer hip. And then you're going to step into your left foot and stretch forward. Inhale back. Oh yeah. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Take one more. Back and forth. Forward. And then you're going to come back to center. So you might have to step your left foot back just a bit. Take your hands to the mat and lift your back right knee. So your hands can be on the mat or on blocks. If you're trying to do it with your fingertips, that might feel really lousy. That's when you know you might need blocks. Good. Then you're going to lift your left arm all the way up. All the way up. Open up. Roll the right ribs to the left. Lift the right waist up into the right. Lean back. That's a big inhale. Then as you exhale, we're going to come into the quiet. You're going to tap your back right thigh. Then inhale. All the way up. And hear that little quiet. And then exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Take two more. Take your left hand back to the floor and start to straighten both legs long, shortening your stance, keeping the left outer hip back. See if you can root the inner edges of your feet to the earth as much as the outer. Lift the belly and start to walk your hands up your thigh bone, nice and tall. Draw your shoulder blades down your back, left hip back. Take your hands behind your back with your heart. And then keeping the power in the inner thighs, hug your thigh bones to the midline. Start to dip forward. Lift your arms up off your back in a nice stretch, releasing your head. Yep. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Step into your left foot, lift your right leg all the way up. Oh yeah, and then step your right foot beside your left, forward fold. Press your feet down and circle your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms together to your heart center and release. Take your hands to your hips, widen your stance just a little bit. And you might want something to hold on to here because I'm going to invite you to come onto your tiptoes with nice soft knees. We've done this a lot of times. I really like drawing the energy up, right into our pelvic floor and into our bellies, belly back. And you can take your arms beside you and just kind of roll your hips. Good. Roll it one way. Good. And then the other. Yeah. Lots of movement in your hips. Lots of juicy hips. This is where our water element is. This is where we want to be. Good. And then take your heels back to the floor. Now we're ready to dive. Make your way into Utkatasana, fierce warrior. Come deep, shins forward, bum is back. I don't ever want to see any of this stuff, guys, right? I'm not there with you, but I know this is happening. I want you to sit back. Yeah, good. Good. Take your palms together, twist to your right. And maybe you'll take your left elbow outside the thigh bone, but doesn't matter. But keep the left hip back and open it up. Yeah, left hip is back. Quietly take a breath. Yeah. Inhale back to center. Exhale the other way. Keeping your right hip back, opening it up. Inhale back to center. That's where the quiet is. It's when we just listen, right? Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway. Exhale and step back to plank. And you know what to do with your knees. It's going to be different for all of us. And then you're going to lower all the way on to your belly. Good. Take your forearms in front of you and parallel. So your elbows can be back in line with your armpits, or you can bring them forward. You'll see. You're going to press your forearms down in parallel. Imagine they're stuck and you're pulling them back. So already the muscles in your upper back are engaged, and you want to keep that. Keep that and reach your chest forward, and you can feel you're already in a back bend, and you don't have to do anything more, right? Come to your breath. Here's the invitation. You can lift your elbows up and exhale down. The closer your elbows are to your body, the deeper you're going to get into this pose if you're looking for something deeper in order to get into your edge. So inhale up and exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Take a few more. Good. Lift it up. Lower all the way back to the mat. Make your way back through table. And let's take a child pose here. So widen your knees wide, and then take your hips back. And take a nice, deep child pose. Take a breath so you can hear the quiet. That's the place of learning. Yeah. Then make your way back to table and into down dog. Yep. And walk your dog. And follow it with the breath. Let the breath lead it, actually. Good. You always start on the right. So lift your right leg all the way up. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Prepare for warrior one, which means your back foot will be grounded. Press your feet down. Now, it might be easier to take your right hand to your right thigh bone and lift yourself up. It's all good. Good. Take the right outer hip back. Power up the left inner thigh and circle your arms up, right? Nice and tall. Now I want you to take your elbows to cactus, and you're going to tip forward from the top of the pelvis and squeeze your forearms together. And then inhale up. Nice long spine. Exhale, squeeze. Get into the core here. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Open up the forearms wide. Notice how the shoulder blades hug together. There's a little back bend. Exhale. So back bends hide in a lot of poses. Yes, there's core work. Okay, we're going to take 3 more. Good. 2. Last one. Perfect. And all the way up. Now extend your arms long and notice if you get a little deeper in your warrior one. And then come right into warrior 2. You don't have to turn around like I do. Good. Good. Take your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift up tall. Keep the right toes aiming forward and the right knee aiming out for the outer edge of your right foot. Notice how that gets into the right inner thigh. And then you're going to tip your heart forward, keeping your feet grounded. Releasing your head with your shoulders. Stretch your shoulders. Good. Inhale all the way up to center. Exhale, your right forearm to your right thigh, lifting the right waist. So the forearm pressing down lifts the right waist into the left. And you find a place for your left arm. It can be anywhere. Good? But instead of your chin being down, looking down, I want you to take the back of your head back. Lift your chin off your chest. Good. Take a breath here, listen to the quiet. Then take your bum back and start to lengthen both legs long and make your way into a triangle pose. Really deep triangle. Keeping the feet really grounded because your right waist is lifting up. And you're going to use your whole core to come up and reverse it, right? And then exhale all the way over and into it. Notice how you have to keep the right waist really engaged towards the left. Good. Let's take two more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Quiet. Exhale. Quiet. Take your left hand to the floor and step all the way back to down dog. Lovely. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you, left leg lifts. Exhale, step your left foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Walking your hands back, shoulder blades down your back. You can roll the shoulder blades down. Take your arms right into goalposts, right? Left hip back. And you're going to tip forward and squeeze the forearms. Inhale. Yes. Exhale. Give every man your ear. Just listen. Inhale. Who is wise? When we learn from one another. Exhale. Inhale. 3 more, guys. 2. Last one. Good. All the way back up. Extend your arms nice and long. Oh, yeah. Then make your way right into your warrior 2. You don't have to turn around like I do. Yeah. But make sure the left thigh bone is out to the left. And you're low in your hips. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, lift your heart. Exhale and tip forward. Good. Keeping your inner thigh bones back, release your head. Good. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale your left forearm to your left thigh, lifting the left waist, stay low in your hips, and find a place that your right shoulder finds happiness with. And it might be your right hand stays on your right hip. It depends on your shoulder. But keep the left waist lifted, so lots of engagement in the core, right? Then take your bum back, and then start to lengthen both your legs long. So the left waist is already lifted, your feet are grounded. Press your feet down, inhale, come all the way up. And reverse, exhale. Yeah, inhale. So good. Exhale. You can almost feel your whole body getting stronger. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Good. And exhale. Right into triangle pose. Stay in that triangle pose with the left waist lifted. That left hand be a good habit. Exhale, release your right hand to the floor. And step your right foot forward beside your left, forward fold. Good. Press your feet down. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. And bring your palms together to your heart center. And release. Good. You can take some hip circles if you like. Maybe adjust your pants if you like. Whatever. Okay. Now you're at the front of your mat. Shoulder blades are down your back. I want you to lift the energy from the center of the pelvis up. So your heart, your chest is going to lift. The shoulder blades lower down. And maybe you can lift your right knee up off the floor. You have to look at something that's not moving. And if you stay right here, this is so excellent. If you want to come into airplane pose, that's also excellent. You decide and see if you can just be with that. Find your breath. Good. So now that's your right foot is behind you, rather. And then you can step your right foot back and come into warrior one, and notice how your shoulder blades are going to come down naturally, right? Now this time you're going to come through center, pivoting your feet parallel, okay? And you're going to start to fold forward. So come halfway forward first. Halfway, guys. So I want your belly back. My hand is on your belly. I'm lifting it back. There's a softness in your knees, right? Your arms are in line with your shoulders. And then with a soft knee, make sure there's a soft knee, you're going to come take your hands either to the blocks or to the floor. Take your left hand to your right shin. Pull your shin in, but your feet are stuck and they're widening the mat wide. So everything wakes up in your outer hip, your IT band, your medius. Everything widens out, but you're holding it in. It's going to lift the belly. Now, if you want, you can walk your right hand forward and just twist under your right armpit. You can extend your right arm up if that feels good. But get all those muscles cooking from the belly back to your outer hips. Oh, nice twist. Or you can breathe calm here and just listen. Good. And release. Now you're going to take your right hand to your left shin and your arms are crossed. So you might do it on your thigh bones. You'll see where it feels right. Either do it on your thighs or your shins. And you're going to pull the shins in or thighs in and widen your legs wide once again. In a big twist. This is going to also stretch out your shoulder, your low back. Find a few breaths here. Powerful. And release. Now you're going to take your right hand to your left shin. Pull the shin in, but the feet are still widening the mat. And you're going to twist your right ribs over to the left. And a nice twist looking under your left arm. Big breath here. Very nice. Exhale, release. Come halfway up. Exhale your hands back to your hips with your elbows to the ceiling, belly back. Inhale all the way up. And make your way into warrior two with your right foot out. So now you're at the back of your mat. Yeah, right foot out. Warrior two. Good. Good. Take your right forearm to your right thigh. We've been here. Take your bum back. Make your way into the triangle pose. Right ribs are going to lift. So you got options. This time you can lift your whole torso up and down, as we have. Or you can take your right hand just forward of your foot, and we're going to come into half moon. You can step into your right foot and lift your left leg up. So it doesn't matter which way you decide to do it. You decide what's right for you. If you want to play with it, you could even bend your left knee and bind with your left foot. That's really fun if it's available. But what's really good too is to release your left hand and bind with your right hand. Yeah, see, it's all kinds of options here. But just find your space. Good. Exhale your hands to the floor. Step your left foot back. Lower your back left knee to the floor. And you're going to make your way into a pigeon. So you can have your either be down or on your back. Now, if you're going to do it with me, you'll take your right foot to the left. Now listen carefully, we're not going to just flop into it. You're going to roll your left knee toward the floor. Walk your hands back and lift your heart, lift your chest. Right? And then this way you can lower your hips a little closer to the floor. Right? And now you soften into your pigeon pose. Yeah. And take a few quiet breaths here in silence. Close your eyes. Good. Then walk your hands back. Make your way into three-legged dog. And then you're going to heel toe your feet back to your hands. Back. Now you're at the back of your mat, guys. Back to the back of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms together to your heart center. So you're at the back of your mat. Take your hands to your hips. Good. Step into your right foot. Lift your left knee up. Now you might want to hold on to something and you might stay right here. This is super awesome. Yeah, you know I sound so less centered, but whatever. Or you can come into a warrior three. Make sure your right foot is stepping into something that feels pretty solid. And just notice, be in the quiet. Good. Then step your left foot back behind you. Make your way into warrior one on the right side. Good. Exhale to warrior two. Now I'm going to come right to center, sorry. Right to center once again. This time you're going to take your heels in and come back into goddess. And this goddess might feel deeper than the one we did before. Remember we did with the shoulders? But this time we're going to release our arms toward the earth. And we're going to lift up something as if it's heavy and pull it up. Circle your arms up and then all the way back. Now this time when you pull it up, I want you to have your your knuckles away from you, lifting it up and all the way out. One more time, inhale. We're going to stay deep. Good. Stay deep. Good. And now you're going to come into warrior two on the left. So now you're aiming to the front of your mat, right? Yeah, left toes are forward. Take your left forearm to your left thigh, lifting the left waist, and find a place for your right arm. Good. Then take your bum back, straighten both legs long. You're in a triangle. Good, right? And you're going to stay right here. Or you're going to lift and lower just like we did before, which is most excellent for half moon. So you're going to take your left hand forward either to the floor or to a block and lift your right leg up. And you can stay right there. You can bend your right knee and bind with your right foot. And you can stay right there. That's really great. Or you can bend your top knee and take your left hand to your right foot. If you can find the balance there, if you can find your foot, that's a little bit more accessible. Good. Take a breath. And release. Take your right foot back behind you, squaring your hips. Lower your back right knee to the floor. And you're going to walk your left foot over to the right. And you're going to lower your front left shin to the mat. Now, before you go into the pose, I want you to roll your right knee, the back right knee toward the floor. That's going to take the left hip back also. And then I want you to walk your hands back and lift your heart. Walk your knee back, lift, 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 so that'll release your hips closer to the floor. And then all the way into that pose. And now listen to the quiet. Say to yourself, listen more, speak less. Or you can say it by Shakespeare's terms. Give every man thine ear and few your voice. Good. Walk your hands back, clear it out in the three-legged dog, just like we did on the other side. Good. Make your way right back into dog. Back into plank. And I want to do one more thing for our back, okay? Yay. Walk your knees toward the floor. Take your arms forward. And the front of your pubic bone, I want you to press it down into the floor. And notice when you press it down and you lengthen your legs long, what happens to your legs, right? Now, you can keep your fingerprints in front of you and hold them back as you reach your heart forward, and you're going to get everything cooked up in your back. Here's another option. You can extend your arms back and forward, and your elbows back, like you're swimming. But keep that pubic bone grounded, lengthening your legs long. Just want to get 2 more here. Good. Last one. Oh, yeah. Back to the table. Walk your knees to your right. Come on to your left hip. And come to lay on your back. Yay. All right, so we're going to get a little bit into our core. And then we're going to clear out our pelvis. Walk your shoulder blades together. Good. Now you're going to lift your knees so that your shins are parallel to the floor. You can always keep one set of toes on the floor, if that feels better for you. Now it's going to save your back. If you, here's an option 1, take the top of the pelvis back, or if you take your thumbs under your pelvis, that will naturally hold them back. It's going to be a little bit different in the pose though, you decide. You're going to take your hands, if they're not under your hips, and push your thigh bones away from you. Push them away, shoulder blades back. But the thigh bones are going to resist and come forward, and you're already in your core. And breathe. If you want to mess with it, you can take your right arm over your head, your right leg long, and come back. And you can exhale. You decide if you want to do that. Well, you're not going to do very many. Just get everything engaged here, one way or another. Just take one more. Okay. Good. Now on the other side, top of the pelvis back. And if you did that one side, you have to do the other. Make sure you're pressing the thigh bones forward and they're resisting. You can see that you don't have to move it. Listen to the quiet inside your body. She'll tell you, right? 3, 2, last one. And draw your knees toward your chest. Give yourself a little stretch. And roll your knees away from one another. Nice release in the back of your pelvis. Good. Come back to that tabletop. Again, if you cannot take the top of the pelvis back for any reason, option 1 is to take your feet to the floor and take the pelvis back. Option 2 is to take your hands under your pelvis and it will tip back. Option 3 is to take your hands to the outer thighs. You're going to press them in, but the thigh bones are going to resist wide. And you are going to get into your pelvic floor, your gluteus medius, and your IT band here, okay? So press your feet in, your shins in, and widen the thigh bones wide. And just take a few breaths here, right into your core. Real quiet life. Oh, yeah. Now, why don't you take your heels together and widen your knees wide? Oh, yeah. So your heels are pressed together. Walk your shoulder blades together. And you're going to lift your bum. Yep. And lower. And lift. And lower. You don't have to land. You're going to lift. And lower. Lift. Press the heels together. Really press them together. Use the resistance. Lift. Okay, reach this a few more times. And just take a few little pulses, just lifting, feeling the heels pressing together. feeling the sensations in your core, in your hips. Hold it, hold it. Hold it in that silence. And then slowly, all the way back to the floor. Now you're going to step your feet to the earth so that your feet are parallel. Your shins are parallel. Your thigh bones are parallel. Again, walk your shoulder blades together and tip the top of the pelvis toward the floor. Pressing your feet down, you're going to lift your hips, and they might lift way higher than you thought they would go. So you're going to lift and slightly lower, and lift and slightly lower, and lift, lower, lift, good. And just take some little pulses up, pulse. Reach your shins forward, lengthening from your throat all the way to your thigh bones. 4, 3, oh yeah, 2, last 1, lift. And then 1 vertebra at a time, all the way down to the earth. Oh, perfect. Okay, you're gonna walk your hips to the left, take your arms to T, lift your knees, and drop your knees to the right. So you get a nice long spine, and that's where you want to really find a nice twist. Reach your left hip away from you. Now you can extend your top leg long. This is a nice stretch in the other hip, or not, doesn't matter. But take your left hand, identify it, because you might be looking towards your left. You're going to lift your left arm up and over and reach past your right hand. And then inhale, big inhale, all the way open, and do your twist. Good. And make your way back to center. Walk your hips to the right. So you feel a little bit diagonal on your mat. Lift your knees, and then drop your knees to the left. And that way you'll have a nice perpendicular spine to get a really good twist. Roll your rib cage to the right, maybe even looking to the right. And you can extend your top right leg straight if you like, doesn't matter. But reach your right hip away from you no matter what you're doing. Check in with your breath. Now take your right hand and reach it all the way over to the left. Reach it all the way over. Inhale all the way back open. Notice where your chin is. And make your way back to center. Lift your bum and roll your sit bones away from you. Gently make a landing to the earth. Take your arms beside your shoulder blades, hug toward each other. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Right into a lovely little Shavasana. And truly take rest with your intention to be in the quiet. Take rest. Start rolling your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, extend your arms up over your head. Exhale through your mouth. Draw your knees toward your chest. And roll to your right side. Just be there for a moment. Make your way to a seat on your mat. And bring your palms together to your heart center with your eyes closed. There is this wonderful proverb that comes to mind that I want to share with you. It says, not everything that happens will be enjoyable, and not every word you hear will be kind. Yet receive everything as a gift and a teaching. And that's done in silence. Light in me honors that light in you. Namaste. Mwah. Love you guys. Let me turn
Thank you.
off the recording, guys. And I'm so glad you guys could all be here.
Yeah, sorry I was late. I
Thank you,
was
Shelley.
late.
That was so
My
fun.
pleasure.
Thanks.
I love